YouTube, it is your favorite gamer here, Above Average Cody, coming at you with the best trigger dead zones, or at least how to find the best trigger dead zones for whatever controller you play on, whatever system you play on. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how to use these 4 trigger dead zone settings to really find what works best for you, whether it's fix any guns that are broken or really just optimize your controller such that it is reacting better to what you're inputting into the triggers. Now, obviously, I just did a huge video on what trigger dead zones are and why they're even there, but in this one, I really want to show you how to get the perfect value for your controller and your gameplay. I'm sorry, guys, there's not one clear-cut number setting that I can give you that is going to work perfect for you. You're going to have to go through these steps and kind of figure it out on your own what works best. And I'm going to be honest, if you guys watch the first video, you can see I'm completely on the default settings. I have 0 issues with my triggers on my Xbox Elite Series 2. Now, I did have issues on the Xbox Series 1, so we're going to talk about that, and we are first going to start with the outer dead zones, guys, because first you have to fix the problems, and then second, we can go into optimizing it such that you're more catered to what you're inputting into the controller. Now, the outer dead zone, guys, this is where the game registers that the trigger is all the way down. So this is going to come down to your ADSing and your charging and full auto. So charging, I'm talking about holding down and charging the plasma pistol, which I used to have issues with. And then the commando, I actually had issues with keeping full auto, just holding down the trigger. So the outer dead zone manages your hold down functions. And the reason I'm talking about this first, guys, is, again, this is where a lot of people have problems. Now, if you have the problem where your plasma pistol's not charging all the way, or you cannot keep your gun shooting at full auto when you're holding the trigger all the way down, you're going to tick back the right outer dead zone. Again, outer dead zone sets when it is fully down, and then the right, obviously, is the trigger you are using to shoot or charge the plasma pistol, guys. You're going to dial this value back. You can go whatever increments you want. Maybe try to go 5 to 10, so go down to 90, and then I want you to back out, and if the plasma pistol is the issue, you're going to go back, you're going to try to charge it, and if you're able to charge it, you're going to kind of dial that, you're going to close the gap a little bit. So say you're going to go back to 95 then, and you're going to see if you could still charge it. So ideally, you're going to keep ticking this number back until the plasma pistol charges, and then you are going to stop. That is where you want the value to fix your gun, and do not play with it anymore, guys, all right? So just tick it back until you're able to charge the plasma pistol, keep your gun fully auto, run around in training mode, you know, test it out, do all that stuff, because that is what is going to affect those guns the most and what is going to really make it so that you can use the guns to the best of their ability. Now, the left outer dead zone, guys, you're going to use the same method, but with your ADS. If you're having trouble with your ADS scope not staying in, then you're going to adjust that outer dead zone. If you don't have any issues with it, guys, don't worry about it, but you're going to use the same exact method. You're going to go to the left outer dead zone. Again, outer dead zone, trigger all the way down. The left one, the left trigger, which is most people's ADS, and you're just going to keep dialing that back until you are able to successfully hold it down. Next up, guys, we're going to move into the inner dead zones, more specifically the right inner dead zone. So the inner dead zone is the moment that the trigger reacts when it is touched. So with a bigger right inner dead zone, guys, you're going to be able to push the trigger further down such that you can move it without it instantly reacting. Generally, you want this value on 0, and it's not like anyone's guns are shooting right when they load up. But just for reference, we're going to start with the right one, the shooting one. So on 0%, I can barely even tap my trigger and the gun's shooting. And just to show you guys what this stat really does, I'm going to turn it all the way up, and you're not really going to be able to see, but I'm going to hold the trigger down slowly, and you'll be able to see I'm pushing it down like right now, and it's not doing anything. So the only reason I could really see wanting to adjust your right inner dead zone is if you're kind of like, if you're a tight controller holder, you're giving that thing the death grip, and sometimes you accidentally give it like a little like tap, you're trying to be sneaky, you don't really want to let them know, and you're accidentally kind of hitting it too early. at least for like commandos and full auto guns. So if you find that you accidentally tap it a lot and you're hitting it too early and things like that, by all means, increase the right inner dead zone. And you can basically do the same thing but opposite, guys. Just keep increasing it and then going back into training mode and kind of touching it to see when it is reacting. And that's really the best way to find the good value for that one. Now, guys, let's go to the left inner dead zone, which again, inner dead zone, same exact thing we just went over on the right trigger, but it is going to be the left one, so obviously you're ADSing. Same idea here. It's basically how quickly the left stick is going to react when you just tap it. Again, I can't really think of any reason you would want a delay on the left trigger. If you guys know any reason you would want a massive delay on either of your trigger inputs, please let me know down below. I think the outer dead zone is much more important than the inner dead zone, because again, you want them to react right away the moment you tap them. The only reason is if you grip it really tight and you find yourself kind of tapping them a little too early, then you're going to want to increase the inner dead zone, because again, the inner dead zone is the moment it reacts. So with a bigger inner dead zone, you have more dead space at the top of the trigger before it actually picks up that you're pushing it in. Also, if you have an older controller, guys, maybe you have an issue where sometimes the trigger contacts and you're ADSing randomly or you're shooting randomly, same idea. You would want to increase that inner dead zone. But personally, from my experience, you really want the inner and both inner dead zones on the left and the right as low as possible. And then the outer dead zones, you can really play with them and kind of just, like I said, test it, dial it back, test it, dial it back, and kind of just go through trial and error. Now, yes, I have my settings on default, guys. I have zero issues, but this is a brand new controller. It's going to be different between every controller. The brand is going to affect the dead zones. How old it is going to affect the dead zones. You might even find you have to change your dead zones after you drop it on the floor. That's really how touchy controllers have become nowadays. And I literally just told somebody in the comments section I miss the days when the only value you had to worry about was a variable of 1 to 10, and it only affected how fast you spun around. But that's really where we are with controllers, guys. It's very in-depth, it's very crazy, and I really hope this helps you out in terms of trying to figure out what to do for your trigger dead zones. I really do firmly believe that most of you are going to be able to leave this default, but obviously if you're searching for this video, maybe you feel different. Hopefully this video helps you figure out those values. I really do wish there was one clear-cut number I could give you and say use this, but it's literally going to be different for everybody that has to change the setting. But regardless, I hope this video helped you out, guys. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. We do tons of Halo content here with a bunch of other fun stuff, a lot of live streaming, things like that, guys. Leave a like on the video, and please leave a comment if this video helped you out. Also, feel free to join the channel membership if you feel so inclined to support monetarily. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate you all very much. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.